There's a point in the film where Ice Cube is in a mansion. He decides to throw off their heat sensor goggles by microwaving a bunch of chicken, and he then takes it all and throws it in a bathtub and then goes and hides in a fridge.
How? Okay. How much chicken did he microwave? What is going on, everyone? 25 is the 20th anniversary of Joe Loves Crappy Movies. And we are taking a look back at the movie of Joe Loves Crappy Movies. So, Joe, what movie are we talking about today?
This week, it's XXX State of the Union, which is the second movie in the XXX franchise, starring Ice Cube, Willem Dafoe, and Exhibit. I was like third person. Oh, Sam Jackson, of course. But I don't know why I was so focused in on Exhibit. Exhibit is in this film. It was at the height of his show Pimp My Ride, which has got to be 20 years old.
Is it 20 years old?
Yeah. And in this movie, he pimps out a tank. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Is it like a MTV crossover? XXX? No.
Unofficial, but yes. Okay. So XXX State of the Union is the sequel to XXX, which was a film starring Diesel, of course, at the height of his popularity. And they're like, "Do you want to come back for another one?" And he said, "No, I'm a serious actor now," and turned them down, just like he did with Fast and the Furious. And just as Fast and the Furious did, they're like, "Fine, we're gonna make one without you." And they did, and this is what happened. And they got Ice Cube, which at first I thought was kind of a strange choice. Like, he wasn't an action star the same way that Vin Diesel was an action star.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was definitely a star. Everyone knows who Ice Cube is. He's had done action movies and had done a slew of comedies and stuff, but he wasn't like an A-list action star. It wasn't like Schwarzenegger passing the torch to Vin Diesel. You know, he wouldn't pass it to Ice Cube.
Yeah,
he could, but it's not the same. It's not the same. This one also has a new director. His name is Lee Tamor, and he's an interesting choice because the movie before this he directed was a James Bond movie, and the XXX franchise is sort of trying to do James Bond but extreme, and that might mean something different now than it did back then. But back then, 20 years ago, extreme meant it was very much like motocross and, you know, skydiving and things like that. So
I was gonna say it's like James Bond, but for the Mountain Dew generation.
Absolutely, and that's something the first movie really leaned into. It's like this movie, or this guy doesn't just drive fast cars; he skateboards too. So, and that's the XXX program, which is this program in the film run by a facial scarred Sam Jackson, is a program that takes the rough guys and turns them into these super soldiers. It's sort of a different way at finding spies. At least that's the way the movie describes it. So plot-wise, this one is focused in Washington, D.C., in politics. There's a coup that's taking place led by Willem Dafoe. You got to love that. He's like, "I hate what's going on. I'm going to take over the country." I mean, he's a little bit more secretive about it, but it's up to XXX. It's up to Darius Stone, played by Ice Cube. It's up to him and the XXX program to stop them. And I think it's great that we have two back-to-back political movies. Last week we had The Interpreter.
Oh, yeah.
And this week we have XXX State of the Union.
Same movie.
Same movie, basically. So when Nicole Kidman jumps out of prison onto not Nicole Kidman. What am I thinking? Actually, she probably could do it, and it would be awesome too. All right, so Darius Stone is less of a extreme sports guy, where Vin Diesel's character definitely was. He's an ex-military guy who has been put into prison, and the XXX program breaks him out of prison, which is great, and that's how he initially joins the program. And it's a terrible film. like the story is kind of like really thin. It really wastes Dafoe, which is a shame because if you have Willem Dafoe, he's crazy. He'll do anything. And I feel like maybe this is a time where like he was more portrayed as straight laced, but he's crazy. He'll do anything. So like, why not use that? They don't use him. Ice Cube is so focused on being cool that it doesn't work for me. His performance, like everything he says sounds like a cheesy line. Even stuff that's normal. It sounds like he's saying ice to see you. Schwarzenegger does in Batman and Robin. Everything. Even if he's like, well, let's go do that then. It's all like, well, let's go do, like he says it with like this kind of weird attitude, or like he like almost looks in the camera. It's like, just act. I know he can act. Why isn't he doing it here? All of that said, all the negatives, the action is so much fun. There's some spotty special effects. It's like there's this big high speed chase sequence at the end, or some of it's like, oh, no one's in that shot. But it's so fun. Like, and the action is solid. Really keeps it together. He slingshots a tank at somebody. He head fake. Okay.
Oh.
There's a lot of tank work going on.
He slingshots a tank?
Okay, so he has to go, part of his mission takes place on an aircraft carrier, and he gets into a tank, and there's another guy in a tank that's coming at him. This is the best part, because he head fakes a guy in a tank. Like, they're coming straight at him, and the enemy's like, all right, on fire on 3. 3, 2, 1. And Ice Cube just goes, and the thing shoots past him and blows up another tank. I was like, you can't do that in a tank. Like, it would not work.
That would take 5 minutes.
Right. As as unbelievable as that is, the next thing he does with the tank is even more unbelievable. They're on an aircraft carrier, so they have those catchers that both stop the plane from flying off the edge, and also, I don't know, they act like it kind of pushes them a little too. It gives them a little boost. I don't know if that's true, but this movie thinks it is, because he hooks up a tank to that and flings a tank at somebody. And you know what? It's so much fun. Like, I'm into it. It's just like goofy madness. There's a point in the film where Ice Cube is in a mansion, and the mansion is surrounded by agents that are trying to get him. And he decides to throw off their heat sensor goggles by microwaving a bunch of chicken and like at-home TV dinners. He then takes it all and throws it in a bathtub, and then goes and hides in a fridge. The bad guys run up the stairs, find the trap, and he hops out of the fridge and then beats some guy up. It is a real moment in cinema for me. And I just wanted to make sure that I told you guys about it, because I feel like a bunch of people were like, I don't know if I want to see XXX2 State of the Union. I feel like now you will. Just for that moment. Just for that moment.
Okay. How much chicken did he microwave?
All right, so it's probably the size of a large dog. But here's the thing. He pulls it out of a freezer, tosses it in the like one by one in the microwave. Like, some guy comes in to negotiate with him, and the guy's like, am I interrupting you? And because he's just like microwaving and then trading stuff out and he's doing the whole thing. But there's no way like a microwave would get that hot that fast. And with all those little things, like, I don't know. I guess like Hot Pockets get pretty hot, but I just can't imagine that it would throw off heat sensors that much. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of stuff to microwave. And I don't really use my microwave, but like,
yeah,
they take a little bit of time. Like,
yeah,
at least like a minute or two.
Bro, he put it on high. And defrost, I guess. Yeah.
I think the popcorn.
Yeah, he's like, while I'm waiting for it to heat up. Yeah. But here's the thing. At the time, like when I was watching it in theaters, I remember thinking like, oh, this is both dumb and kind of fun. Like, at least they're thinking outside the box. But why didn't he just turn the heat up in the whole house? Like, why? I don't know. Wait, so it's a waste of TV dinners.
And he just tosses them in the bathtub? Like, is the bathtub full of water?
No, that would have been something too. No, that would have brought down the temperature.
Yeah.
No, they like bust open the bathroom door and they're just like, he's in the tub, and they're like, nope, it's just like a bunch of hot meat. um, so the action is really great. Story's a mess. I love all these performers, but it's not really the best for them. But whatever. It's a fun time. This is a fun movie. It's a fun rewatch.
Yeah. And I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but you do own this movie.
Hell yeah, I do. I definitely bought this. It was probably 5 for 20 at Blockbuster. There's no way. If I ever hold up a DVD and it says this on it, there's no way I paid that price. There's no way. I'm just too lazy to unstick. Yeah, this was an easy buy because it's definitely one that, especially back then, I would just pop it on and enjoy Exhibit and Ice Cube being maniacs. And but that said, I have not seen it in like at least 10 years.
Yeah.
But it's still fun.
And as for our running tally, I have not seen this movie.
Are you sure? I feel like I dragged you to a lot of movies back then.
You
This is definitely one.
We have definitely watched a lot of movies together. This is not one of them.
All right. The only reason that is because I needed to see it right away, like opening night. It's like, I gotta go now. Yeah, I know. Yeah. You not having seen it doesn't surprise me that much, but did you even see the first XXX movie?
I have not
The
seen
Vin
the
Diesel one?
XXX one either. There's a
Have you
third
seen
one.
the third one? Yeah, The Return of Xander Cage.
I am 0 for 3 for the XXX movies.
Oh my god, the XXX extended universe, you don't even know what's going on.
Well,
You don't know what you're missing.
I obviously would not have watched the second XXX movie without having watched the first XXX movie.
That's true. You're like, who are these people? What's going on? I don't know what's happening.
So, as you were describing the XXX program, it kind of sounded to me like a little bit like The Kingsman, which also I have not watched.
Kingsman's fun.
But yeah,
it is like that. I mean, but isn't the FBI like that, where it's just like goofy old spies recruiting young talent to sort of step up and be the new people?
I'm trying to think if there's like another movie in that kind of like that vein.
Yeah, I mean, The Kingsman certainly is. It's a good comparison for sure.
Actually,
to the program.
You know what? Men in Black.
Absolutely, that's very Men in Black. Yeah.
But
Men in
speaking
Black,
of other
they should have done more with that. Go ahead.
Well, they made 3 Men in Black movies, and I've not seen the third one. So actually, no, that
Oh my god,
four.
They made 4.
I
Yeah,
forgot about the most recent one.
they went international with the 4th one.
I've seen that one, but I haven't seen the third one.
What I meant was with Men in Black is they don't really explore the recruitment process. I almost would prefer that over what they do, which is Will Smith, like just being Will Smith for 3 movies. Like the coolest part of the first movie is him being brought into that world.
Yeah. But speaking of other movies, if somebody wants to watch XXX State of the Union, but something adjacent to that, something like that, something similar vibe, is there something that you would recommend?
Well, when it was over, I immediately wanted to watch the first XXX, which I have not seen in a while, which is a fun movie as well. But it's so much like one of those over-the-top James Bond movies that it also made me want to watch some of those crazier James Bond movies. And like I said earlier, the director of this movie made a James Bond movie, and the movie he made was Die Another Day, which is the craziest of the modern ones. Like, it is both over the top silly with wacky, like race bending bad guys. And then, but at the same time, the action in that movie is solid. So watch Die Another Day and appreciate the Brosnan of it all.
Is that Brosnan's last James Bond movie?
Yeah, that was the last.
Yeah,
I think he's got solid bookends. I like GoldenEye. I like Die Another Day. Stuff in the middle, just a little. The world is not enough. The bookends are good.
Yeah, because when you said the director's name, I was like, that kind of sounds familiar to me, but like, I would not have named. I did not know he directed a James Bond movie. I definitely didn't know it was Dino.
Now I know you saw that James Bond movie because I know I dragged you to that one, right?
We have definitely seen that one together.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But that's not in the Joel Loves Crappy Movies list, so
Nah, we'll never talk about it. So,
so what are we right now? I am 2 for 11 or something like that, I think.
that sounds about right. Yeah, and I'm 3 for 11 because I do own this one on DVD.
And I think my number for you was 15. Was that was that a number?
Right? Are we gonna get close to that? Well, here's the thing. Okay, let me open up the chart. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see the ghosted ones. They're kind of blocked, but you can still see what's coming up. And we're entering a stretch where they're pretty good movies. So or maybe good's the wrong word. They are movies that a person with terrible taste in movies like myself might own. So we might be going from 3 Joe owns to like 10, like before you know it. So certainly next week. Next week's an all timer. We're gonna get a Joe owns and a Phil saw it.
Oh,
because it. Should I say what it is?
Sure. I have no guesses for what this.
None. Oh, I'm sure you've seen this movie 10 times. No, you've maybe seen it twice. But only because you were super excited at first and then a little bit disappointed. It is Star Wars Episode 3.
Yeah.
The Revenge of what is the third one? The Revenge of the Sith? Yeah, that'll be a fun one to talk about.
So that is next week?
That's next week, yeah.
Okay.
Right. You're gonna rewatch it, Phil?
I won't go that far.
You're like, no, I hate that movie.
So, in preparation for Fantastic Four, we will be doing a live watch of the Roger Corman Fantastic Four. It'll be Joe and I, and you are welcome to watch along with us as
please.
Joe experiences it for the first time.
Absolutely. This is my one horrible Fantastic Four blind spot. I don't know why I never saw it. Probably because it was never on TV or anything. It was the sort of thing you had to like seek out, and then it was on YouTube. But then I was an adult person who did not have time for such foolish things. But I'm an even older person, so now I'm super excited about this foolish thing.
I'm pretty sure it was my first like purchase at a convention.
Yeah.
Back when we went in the 90s.
I think somebody was like, "Here, would you like this free comic?" And you were like, "Kindly fuck off. I want to buy that first. I want that to be the thing I remember forever." When you purchased it, were you like, "I know what this is. I want to own it, or I want to see it. Like I've heard about this. I want to see it," or were you like, "What the hell is this? I gotta own this."
I did know about it beforehand.
Okay.
Because back in the 90s, there was a magazine that was dedicated to like the comic book movie and TV shows. It's called Comic Scene, and I think that was on the cover at one point. So I had seen like stills from it.
And you knew who the Fantastic Four were, and you were like, "This is amazing. It's a thing."
And I'll have to see if I can find the actual VHS tape for the live recording, but it is a VHS tape, first of all. And this was before like discs contained video.
Even the science they're using in the Fantastic Four was not that advanced yet.
But the cover is just I think it's like an orange piece of paper that has like a photocopied John Byrne art on it.
Not even something from the movie.
No, not even something from the movie.
I mean, at least it's better than like someone just wrote the number 4 on it and drew a circle around it. Oh, that must be the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited to see the movie, and we're going to watch it live and talk about it live. And my dog will bark in the background, but I'm excited. So please join us. It'll be fun.
But if you guys have seen XXX State of the Union or any of the other XXXs, let us know in the comments below what you thought. And be sure to join us next week when we talk about Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.